Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the hashtag TFR Motivation Monday Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles. We are your presenters. Welcome, Team Freedom Reigns. We absolutely love this time we spend with you every Monday night. We will bring a new presenter, new guest, and with some new information to bring to this absolutely phenomenal business opportunity that we all have to give you guys a deeper dive into understanding about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do. Today's episode is going to be fantastic. But before we get into that, we've got some information to share with you people here at Team Freedom Reigns and any guests who may be watching this. So tell us about this YouTube channel we got.
Well, you know, guys, we know that not everybody can be on here live, or you just might want to listen to this call over and over and over again. So we make sure that we upload these calls every single week to the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel. So make sure that you go to YouTube, find Team Freedom Reigns. You want to make sure that you subscribe, but not only do you just subscribe, you want to make sure that you ding that bell so that you get notifications every single time that we upload new content for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so make sure you do that after the call.
And we talk about this every week because it's that important. So if you haven't seen this 9-minute video in your electronic back office, stop clicking out of it and go watch it. It's only 9 minutes, but it'll tell you why compliance is so important, what you can and can't say, because in this regulatory environment, staying compliant and remaining compliant and keeping our businesses open is critically important. So go watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
The monthly marketing playbook, where all of the information that you need to be running your business is right there provided to you, and it's compliantly done by corporate. So you're going to find information on the product of the month, which this month they have all the focus materials for ProTandem Tri-Synergizer. There's blogs, social shareables, podcasts, and Facebook Lives, and that amazing social media calendar that helps you lay out the month perfectly for putting information, not just about this opportunity, but about you and what's going on around the world in your social media feeds.
Absolutely. You know what I realized today?
What?
We are 10 months into the world's biggest wellness litmus test ever. We are gathering data on what's happened over the last 10 months since we introduced NAD, where 3 of the switches in your body have been activated all at once. No one's ever done that before. We are the only people on earth that are actually testing this right now, and it's unbelievable. I just realized
that Tri-Synergizer.
10 months into that Tri-Synergizer approach, yes. So your system, the ITT Invite Tool Team, step 1, we're using biohackingaging.com. Unbelievable 4-minute little short video, get people understanding what LifeVantage is about, who we are, why we do what we do, and our vision, exactly. And then click the science link at the bottom for the ABC Primetime and Dr. Dixon's abbreviated video on the Tri-Synergizer and activating the paths of wellness by what? Flipping switches and talking about the theories of aging. Very, very powerful. And then step 2 is what?
Yeah, so step 2 is inviting someone to the next step of the LifeVantage Opportunity Overview, or an LVO. And you have so many opportunities every single week, including the corporate one that's offered every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I actually want to correct this for Dave, because I'm sorry, Dave, I forgot. I did not get it on this one. It's just 7 p.m. Mountain Time, okay? It's actually Mountain Daylight Time right now, so if I was going to be correct. So I know, Dave, I'm learning from you. I'm learning. See, and I took it. We still need to school corporate too. It's on the slide there. But remember last week, our amazing guest that we had on this call, Sharice Matthews? Well, she's going to be the presenter tomorrow night. So make sure that you are inviting, because guess what? The first step in building your business is inviting. So invite to this LVO tomorrow night, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
And for us, every week we bring you Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You see the times there. 3 LVOs, to the trifecta of the LVO LifeVantage opportunity for you and your team, your prospects. Please make us a habit of inviting people every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to catch it live. And then lvwebinar.com if you're not able to get on at these times.
And I redeemed myself here, Dave. I did fix this slide at least.
Yeah, you did.
And then how to be successful, you follow the clues, right? And Success Mastery has all of the amazing information for you to how to become a professional in this amazing business opportunity. So this coming Saturday, August 29th, you see the lineup here starting at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Success Mastery, guys. You're going to have Angie Harper, Shauna Mucklow, and Master Protan, Rachel Pekarik, is going to be giving you your call to action. Make sure you block out this time every single Saturday.
Oh my gosh. On the 23rd of October through the 24th of October, we have the global virtual convention for the first time ever. $199. Please pre-register. It's absolutely unbelievable. This is going to be a deep dive into personal power, understanding the benefits of why you need to be able to activate not only your body, but your LifeVantage business, because we are in an unprecedented time where everything is virtual right now and all eyes and ears are on online business building. And you're going to get a deep dive into how to do this with some incredible speakers. So please mark this on your calendars and pre-register if you have not yet already for the Global Convention 2020. It's going to be off the hook.
Yes, it is. Or you can attend for free. LifeVantage has created this opportunity for any distributor that generates 500 in personal volume that's new sales in either August or September. You can receive a free registration pack. And if you are already pre-registered, you'll actually get an extra $175 coupon to the LifeVantage merchandise store. This is all incentivizing you to build your business, guys. So remember that first step. Invite. Get people in front of this information. Get 500 in new personal volume, and you can attend LifeVantage Convention for free.
Yes.
And here we are.
And here we are. That is the typical, well, first of all, as grandparents, Marcy and I understand
we understand this picture
only
100%.
grandchildren can make you do silly things and be willing to take your picture doing it.
Yes,
so
I
that is
absolutely love
that you
it.
can totally tell that's a grandpa right there.
Yes. So, Elite Pro 9, Dave Markee. He's actually been married to his beautiful bride, Kathy, for 31 years. He's the father of 4 and, yes, a grandfather to 1 that makes him do silly, crazy, amazing things. This guy has had experience as a navigator in the U.S. Army, and he is a self-proclaimed, he is a serial entrepreneur. And we are so excited. And I know you had something you wanted to share about.
He's also just, and Dave, I don't know if you know this or not, or if you don't even remember this incident, but Dave has, and I'm probably going to get emotional talking about this. There's 2 people in my life that I give credit to teaching me the 2 biggest lessons I've learned as a network marketer. First is Matt Collins for teaching me that you need to learn how to lead different people differently. And the second was Dave. And I had never met Dave. I had just heard great things about him. And then I heard something that wasn't great coming from somebody who I didn't really know that much, but they shared something with me that changed my opinion of somebody that I had never met. And unfortunately, I let that opinion carry over how I felt when I heard Dave talked about from that point forward. And I carried that. And then I saw him present on stage at Elite Academy. And I got so convicted at his story and how powerful it was and what a man of integrity he was that I said, this is going to be the most awkward probably introduction I've ever had, because I'm going to go apologize to somebody who didn't know that this was happening, but I was carrying, I would even say I was kind of holding a negative grudge against somebody that I didn't even know who they were or their character. I just knew of them. And after Dave's presentation, I had to single him out, and I walked up to him and I said, dude, you don't even know this is happening, but I need to apologize to you because I've thought about you in ways that you didn't deserve based on information that I heard that I didn't corroborate, and that's my fault. Thank you for teaching me that. So I don't know if you remember that, Dave, but it was one of my 2 biggest lessons in network marketing or in this business of how to be a leader is if somebody's opinion of someone else goes against what you've heard previously, or you don't even know the person, they're not there to defend yourself, investigate, but don't ever take that and make it your own. And Dave, I did that for you for a couple months, and I'm sorry that I ever did that. And I hope, you forgave me at the time. You were very, very gracious, but I don't know if you remember that, but that was a very, very powerful moment watching you on stage, because you captivated me so deeply and your story was so compelling. And thank you for your service. You were just, and the stuff you talked about and how raw and vulnerable you got, you won me over that day. And I've been a huge fan of yours ever since. And it's an honor and absolute blessing to call you friend. So thank you for accepting our invitation and being here today.
Yes, Dave, we appreciate you, and just how humble you are just blows our minds. So thank you for the lessons that you've already taught us in our lives.
I don't have anything to add. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate everyone's time, and I'll turn it back to you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you.
Love you back. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. That was very kind. Let me take a moment, first of all, and I don't waste an opportunity with LifeVantage anytime there's a LifeVantage opportunity, hang on a sec, I got a little background noise. So I just want to make sure I'm not messing myself up. Can you still hear me okay? I just want to make sure at my end. Okay, thank you. Okay, that helped. Whatever you did, that helped. Thank you. I never waste an opportunity. Every person that you talk to in LifeVantage might be 10,000 people. Ugh. You know, I've never had this kind of potential in life to have impact. You never know who you're talking to, or you never know who that person will lead you to, that 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 you end up having a big impact with and a friend for life. Dondi and Marcy. You just never know. You never know where it comes from. And I tell you, I quit asking because it keeps happening here. And it keeps happening in a very weird way. And I like it. I'm getting used to it. And now I'm expecting it, and it keeps showing up. So I'm not resisting it. And it's, you know, you pull in, you're in a hurry, you pull into the parking lot at the mall and it's jammed. Remember those days, the good old days, you know, with jammed malls, you know, that seems like wasn't that long ago. What are malls? They're gone, whatever. But the, you know, and the parking lot's full and you're in a big hurry. It's Sunday, you know, whatever. And perfect thing opens up. You know, the spot opens up next, not the handicap, but the one next to it opens up and you slide right in. And that keeps happening all day long. And now you pretty soon you're expecting it because you're seeing the pattern. That's what it's like being involved at LifeVantage. And I don't question it anymore. I just say, I'm going to do my part. So that's all I've ever tried to do. So that was very gracious what you said. And I just love you guys. And where you guys made a huge impact on me, if I can be as honest with myself as I try to be, there was a day that Marcy saved the life of my 5-year-old's father, me, on a horse, right? So we're on a horseback because LifeVantage has got us up in some, you know, up the mountain doing the river rafting and on the horses or whatever we were doing. We've been so many places, it's crazy. But so we're riding horses, my 5-year-old, you know, anyways, Marcy's expert. And she just, you know, she was controlling, you know, 3 horses going up the hills, over the mountain, over, you know, over the river and all that. And anyway, but I saw how you took control of that situation with a 5-year-old. And if I, you know, my ego says, yeah, me and Marcy saved the 5-year-old. The truth is probably Marcy and Savannah saved Dad. Yeah, that's probably what happened there. You know, anyway, so you guys, it just immediately had a place in my heart, and it just keeps happening here. I do have some things I want to share, but I never, ever, ever, ever waste an opportunity with LifeVantage. There's an awful lot of people that talk about doing the business. And there's an awful lot of people talking to other people about talking about doing the business. A lot of people are talking and not doing the business. What's doing the business? Talking to somebody that's never heard of it before. Hey, are you in or out? We got a little menu here. You want to take anything off this menu? I need to know which category to put you in, basically. So anyway, by the way, I'm going to get off track about 5 times, and it's going to be your guys' challenge to pull me back, because I got about 30 things I want to share that I think is so important. And it's the meeting after the meeting is always important too, as is the meeting before the meeting. But what's the most important part of the meeting? What is the most important part of the meeting is the social proof. The social proof, the stories of the people, not the ingredients of something. So with permission, I'm going to attempt to use this as a piece of exampleship. I didn't take this little meeting here tonight for granted. I think I've got 3 or 4 people on that. So you've got some strange names that you don't recognize and you're used to seeing, you know, that's why. So, and out of 4, probably 3 are here. But here's my point. They've never heard your stories. That's the most important thing. So would you do me a favor before I share mine and then weave in what I think this is so important right now for the timing? I'll share my story and weave that in, but would you share that? Because I got people here that need to hear that. So let me turn that back to you guys. We're doing the business. We're not talking about it.
Let's do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an absolute honor. So this was my background is I was a family wellness chiropractor and AM talk radio host for many years, and just a health educator, empowering people to be self-sufficient with their health and literally take responsibility and accountability for their health. That was it was very successful. We had the 4th largest chiropractic practice in the state of Arizona. But while all of that was wonderful on the professional side, on the personal side, I was very hollow and empty. I had 2 young children, a 3-year-old son and a newborn daughter at home that never knew daddy because daddy was gone 80 to 90 hours a week. And I tell the story all the time, and every time I do, it brings me to this emotional place because I was a father, but I wasn't a daddy, and I wanted to be a daddy. I wanted to teach my kids my values, and I wasn't able to do that. And this opportunity that we're a part of with Dave gave me the ability to do just that. And a little over a year after seeing it for the first time and implementing it into my life, I sold my practice, canceled my radio show, and I've been a stay-at-home father and home-based entrepreneur for the last 11 years. And my kids are now 11 and 14. And all they ever have memories of is dad being home. And that blesses me significantly because they don't have the memories I have of when I wanted to be a dad to them and had no ability to. So, and then the cherry on the top is meeting this beautiful woman. She was part of our business, and we were both going through a very difficult time. That former life led to an end of a 28-year relationship and found me being a single dad. And then Marcy had difficulties in her life, and she joined the business, and we just, after a while working together professionally, we were at a different place, and we saw each other in different eyes and joined our marriage, and joined our business. And now we've been mutually running this business now for almost 8 years, and we do it from home, and we impact people in 20 different countries. But that's my side of the equation.
Yeah, so for Don D, he was looking for time with his kids, right? The people that he cares about the very most. For me, when LifeVantage came along, I was probably at the darkest point of my life. I had been a police officer for almost 10 years. I loved it. I was good at it. I felt like I was serving a lot of people. But in August of 2009, life happened. And I was in a car accident on duty that ended my career that fast. Left me with a brain injury, several herniated discs throughout my spine that required spine surgeries, and left me with the inability to pay my bills because I couldn't be a police officer anymore. I went through a lot of loss. My mind wasn't working. I was in a ton of pain. I was on a lot of prescription medication. I was a parent of teenagers at this time, and so I was never able to be present for them. Couldn't pay my bills, went through a divorce of a marriage that was suffering, and lost a house. So I ended up really depressed, and that also got me more prescription medication that had warning labels on it that said may cause suicidal tendencies. And I actually had 4 suicide attempts before very dear friends of mine were introduced to this opportunity that we are all so blessed to be part of, and they thought of me. And I am so, so grateful, and I will be forever grateful to them for thinking of me and inviting me to see this information. Because when I saw it, I had hope for the first time in 18 months that I could get my mind and my body working again. Hope that I could take control of my life and pay my bills, right? And then hope that maybe there was a purpose for me again. And it's just, I had phenomenal results on our products, and that made me even more excited to share the information. And sharing means you're meeting new people. And part of that meeting new people was meeting this guy, right? And us being able to do this together. It's such a beautiful thing. And so now we are looking for people that are looking for time with people they care about, purpose, maybe taking control of their lives. But that's why we're all here, guys. We're all here because we want to make a difference in someone else's life, not just continue to make a difference in ours, but because we want to help other people. So Dave, thank you for turning it back on us so that we can share our story, because
Absolutely.
part of meeting those people is meeting people just like you. Right. And
yeah,
everybody else.
I thank you for that time, you guys. Thank you for that. I always thought I knew. Well, heck, I always thought I knew everything. Really, I always thought I knew what I knew. Really, I went through most of my adult life. Well, certainly most of my childhood, but all of my adult life. I knew everything. I knew what I knew. I was so, and then I did the math. I'll just weave it into my story because I got to keep it on track, or we're going to be all over the place. And what I think is important for my guests, what I want you to understand is that as it relates to the digital real estate that we each own as a part of the LifeVantage umbrella, we each own a literal distributorship, a piece of this digital real estate space that has value. It has an ongoing cash flow, and because of that, the value is 5, 6, 7x, whatever the cash flow is, generally speaking. right? Generally speaking. So there's big assets that are being built here, and it's throwing off this income that's life changing. And if you could ever design one of these things to, to have all the pieces the way you would want to have it, if you could actually do it, all those pieces are coming together. And I've been involved not as long as you guys, about 10 years I'm involved, and maybe a second wave or a third wave of people or whatever, but also never done anything quite like this before. Anyway, it's crazy where I think this is about to go. Now, we'll talk about that. Now, let me just weave the story, and I'll share that. And I try to put a couple of notes down because there's just so much going through my head right now. But here's the fact of the matter: if you want to change your life, if you want to change your life, if you fully understand, when you really understand where we are, you need to understand, I believe, that you have unborn great-great-grandchildren rooting for you to pay attention right now. Because a little bit of time right now can leverage generations. And I want to demonstrate that. I like to joke around. I like to be, fun and animated, and it's true, but it's very, very serious business because it's lives. And there's a lot of people, especially in North America right now. Okay, I'm not in North America right now. There's a lot of people in North America that don't have the luxury of making a mistake right now. And one of the advantages that we have as a public traded NASDAQ company with a, serious track record and things that you can see, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So we're putting together some things that are just anyway. Here's my story, and those of you that don't know me, my gosh, for those of you that don't know me, please let me put a disclaimer up right now. If I say something you like, take it, give it some consideration, see if it fits, wear it for a couple of days, throw it off, see how that feels, do something with it. If I say something you don't like, throw it away, and take what's right for you, and listen to the people that you're following. They've got, I don't mean to get in the way of anything. With that as that, I was born into an alcoholic family. My mother was the last of 13 children come over from Norway, the old country, not even sure what that means. I probably cursed, so I apologize for that. Okay. If I know this group, right? So they came over and they set up a ranch in Montana, right? So they're first generation. She's the last of 13 of the Ingebrigtsens, right? My father's 10 years older and is traveling, building out a territory for an insurance company, and he's good at it, building people and teams and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm basically the product of the traveling salesman and the farmer's daughter, if you put all those pieces together, right? So here's the point, is that it wasn't uncommon where when you had babies in the old country, the moms were drinking, to stay warm. Not uncommon, right? They didn't know that they didn't know. It's not uncommon that if the babies were fussy, you put an ounce of whiskey in the bottle. Right? They seem to settle right down. Well, they're already addicted, and if you give them what they need, life is good. That's how addiction works, right? So I started that way, and both of my parents were addicts and alcoholics, and I stepped right into that. So all of that to say this, I didn't know where to trust. No way did I know where to trust. The things that you would normally trust unconditionally, I kept getting bitten if I trusted anything. And that happened over and over and over. So I don't know where to trust. I'm now getting older, right? Anyway, I'm in the Navy. I took some tests. I did extremely well in mathematics. This language just kind of comes to me, I guess. And that's what they said. And they put me in this. They took me out of the normal process and had me in this other process. I end up on a team of 7 in the world, navigating a CNO project, Chief of Naval Operations, beyond top secret of clearance, win in theater, top secret, basically everywhere else, right? This little alcoholic from Oregon. right? I mean, they know my background. I guarantee they know everything. I promise you, even 30 years ago. Here's my point. I fell in love with mathematics because it told a story without emotion, and I could trust that. I could trust that. And so I came out of the military and went into business because I wanted to navigate my own life. I was in the US Navy as a navigator. And very interesting, navigation is an art as much as it is a science. Maybe even more so when you're shooting stars with the sextant, right? And you got to account for the 100 feet above the water level you are when you're measuring the horizon on a star. And you also got to take into consideration the pilot's probably off course a little bit, right? I mean, you got to take all the winds and the currents, and it's always the same and never the same. But you got to get to where you're going, which is what every human being is trying to do. Yes or yes, right? Now, they think they have a destination. Most people don't even have a clear destination. Let's talk navigation just for a minute. We could spend 3 hours here and you'd walk away going, that was worth $100,000 this year to my income, if not more, because we have duplication, right? No kidding. You got a destination? Most people don't even have a destination. But if you had one, do you know your course and speed for when you want to get there by? Well, how do you get a course and speed if you have a destination? You have to know where you are. Most people get this one completely wrong. What happens if you've set off on a course and speed for the destination that you're not sure of, and you're not right? You're not true to yourself about where you're starting from. You got to be real honest about where you are first. That's the most important part of navigation. Okay, and we had armament that we were traveling around the world with that you needed to know everything about everything, I promise you. Okay, so anyway, interesting things about navigation. We can come back to some of that. When I came out, I had to model. I had to learn how to model. And I got a hold of, I went on board ship on the last, we were going to be gone for 6 months. So this is before the internet. I mean, there's no mail, there's no news, there's no nothing, right? Right. And so I took a cassette of Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field, talks about the difference of the top 5%. 6 months later, I come off that boat a different person. I know a lot of people around me that are not going to be in the top 5%. That's evident. Evident. I'm in the military. I see a lot of people that aren't in the 5%. I even see a bunch of officers that probably aren't. You know what I mean? I'm just observing. I say, I must be one of the 5%. It must be me. I said, I guess I belong there. Okay, I got to figure this out. So who do I model? And then Tony Robbins was just getting started. And so I got to model Tony Robbins because he's teaching how to model people and how to anchor things in. If I ever want to feel positive, all I got to do is this with my hands. I don't know if you can see that. I used to be on the bridge of a guided missile destroyer in theater during the middle of the Iran-Iraq war, and I had my compass and my dividers, and I'm telling the captain's asking me where to take the ship. I got the top secret clearance. We got 5 super tankers full of oil running through the Iran-Iraq war, right? And so my emotions are high, and I'm doing this for months and months, and I'm good at it. I'm good at it. Good. I'm one of the best in the world, and I can show you what the Navy says, okay? Now, 15, 20, 30 years later, I'm getting ready to go on stage with a LifeVantage event, and I'm getting that nervous feeling, and all I do is, and I'm immediately on the bridge in control of everything, especially this little group of 6,000 people. Piece of cake compared to that. You know what I'm saying? So we learn about how to anchor in. I'm learning how to model. So who do I model? Now I'm in network marketing. My alcoholism has gone crazy. I've lost everything. I got 2 girls in college. I got one. She got into Berkeley for her undergrad, okay? I got one at the University of California, San Diego, who, by the way, is published in PubMed on brain research. Pretty amazing, Sarah. Okay, James had already graduated from Loyola Marymount University in the film school in computer animation, and in the 4 years from when he started until when he ended with his degree, ready to go to work, the entire industry moved to Bangalore, India, and they were paying everybody 10 cents on the dollar. That industry was was gone, 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 gone. You know what he does now? He's got about $180,000 a month going through his LifeVantage business. Right? You got to get in the future, not in the past. Right? Anyway, I digress. So I had to model getting it. So I'm in a hurting situation. I don't know how to keep my girls in school. I don't know what to do. I lost everything. Then they towed the motorhome that was keeping me off the street. My wife, Kathy, and Savannah, 5-year-old, in their in-laws' 3rd bedroom from a 1940s home that they'd had freed and clear for 25 years. You know what I mean? Never left. That kind of people, rock solid, right? And there's my wife. I'm turning 50. I'm sitting on the curb across the street after they towed the motor home. And everything that I was afraid of, all the fear that was building up, that I was juggling so many balls for, actually happened. The thing that I was afraid of most, I remember crying in the shower, Kathy, keep the life insurance in force. Keep the life insurance in force. I still have value to the family if that was in force. Millions. Because I sure wasn't worth anything other than that based on current conditions. And we couldn't keep that going. Now I got to live. So I got to get a hold of this treatment thing. So I come to find out I get to go to treatment because some admiral left some money. Interesting, right? So I'm in La Jolla, California at the Scripps Institute McDonald Center getting some of the best treatment in the world, and a couple of ahas happen over 30 days that sets me in the right direction. Okay, now I got to figure out how to try to put my economic life together, but I've got to do it in a way where I prioritize my well-being in this world because it's the only thing on page 1. There's nothing on page 2, 3, 4, or 5 yet, and won't be for a while, right? So I got to prioritize that. So I'm thinking, I remember those people talking to me about these independent distributor things, right? Okay, well, maybe I can find one of those because you control your own time with that. And if I feel well enough, I can engage. And if I don't feel well and I need to prioritize my recovery, which I'm committed to do, that gives me that flexibility. I'm going to find something like that. So I reached out to somebody that would kind of spend a lot of time in this space. Jason D, okay, right? And he said, funny, you should be reaching out. We're kind of onto a project. You should probably look. And I said, well, show me. So I got to looking. So I liked what I saw enough where I had to make a decision who I'm going to model. Because I don't know jack, but I know about modeling because I saw Tony modeling if you want the same results. So I figured out, okay, I want to know what you know. I want to believe what you believe. I want to do what you do in the order in which you do it. If I'm morally agreeing with what you believe and what you do, if I believe and do that, I should get the same results. He said, yeah, you get it. I said, okay, I'll model you. The guy was making $250,000 a month at the moment, and I'm in his back office. Interesting person to get some education from right out of the gate, right? So I focused. So here's my story. He said, make a list of everybody you've ever known on planet Earth. And here's how you qualify it. If the odds are 50-50 or better, they probably remember you, put them on the list. Okay. Now I took that. See, because I know there's an 80-20 rule. There's an 80-20 rule in everything, yes or yes. And inside the 20%, there's an 80-20. And inside that, there's an 80-20. And inside that, there's an yes or yes. Probably goes to infinity in both directions. Probably. Math, right? Here's my point. If I want to do well financially, now there's a lot of reasons to be involved in LifeVantage. Man, this is a family. I get so many good hits of dopamine and serotonin and all the good stuff just being around these people. I kid you not. This is who I want my children around in this crazy world. Yes or yes. The more you're around, you'll understand that. Okay. Oh, by the way, they're throwing off billions of dollars to us in our pajamas at home. By the way. Oh, and we got the first natural product proven to slow aging and extend life according to universities and the United States federal government. But let's not oversell that because nobody wants to buy or sell anything, right? All you got to do is give it away. And then they come out with a tri-synergizer. You should see, I got the video. I'm at the home office. The mailman is dropping off the mail at 4 in the afternoon, and I'm there trying to get the gal at the front gate to get me a couple of pieces of LifeVantage product out of that little closet around the corner, right? And the guy comes in and drops the mail. So she's doing the closet, and I'm looking on top of the stack of the mail. It's from the patent office, right? I got my phone out. I'm spreading it out. There's 5 or 6 from the patent office. I'm taking all the photos. Man, this tri-synergizer is going to be off the hook. You guys have no clue what's coming in and around that. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back. Oh, guys. So I'm an alcoholic, drug addict, trying to put my life back together. I said, okay, teach me what you, so he says, put a list together of everybody you ever know. I said, okay, I'm going to separate myself from everyone in LifeVantage trying to make money. I'm going to separate myself from those people. How do I do that? I got no skills. I have no experience. I'm going to give more commitment to the little things that everyone else is going to take for granted. So he said to make a list. I said, I'm going to make that the most important thing I've ever done in my life, because I had to focus like that because my brain wasn't working. Post-acute withdrawal, pause. If you know anybody in and around the addiction world, post-acute withdrawal symptoms, pause, please pass it on. Missing piece. Anyway, really helped a lot. By the way, that's step 12 work, passing it on. Do you know about the 12 steps? What, this is crazy. This should be mandatory training for every 13-year-old on planet Earth in language, right? Did you know that out of the 12 steps, only step 1 is the step that talks about whatever the it is? And the it can be almost anything, yes or yes, right? What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you do first thing? What do you do first thing? Think about it. What do you do first thing in the morning? Phone, messages, right? Looking for that serotonin hit, looking for that dopamine, yes or yes. Everybody's addicted in North America, I promise you. I've tested it. Everyone. Anyway, I digress. I made a list. It's up in the cupboard behind me. I made a list of 750 people. I had phone numbers for about 250, right? The other ones I'd have to chase, right? But he said, I'll know how serious you are when we get together 3 days from now. I'll buy the coffee back at this coffee shop. And 3 days I was back there and he had the coffee sitting out there. He said, you make your list. I'm phoning page after page after page after page after page. He looks me in the eye and he says, you're serious, aren't you? I can tell he doesn't get that every day. I could tell, right? And I said, I'm serious like a drowning man 2 feet below the surface. I see the life preserver. I got one shot to grab it. That's how serious I am. And I wanted this guy's attention because I wanted to work with him. He's going to shorten my learning curve. This guy's worth millions to me if I pay attention. And I've got his attention. You bet I showed up with a list. You know what he said? Hey, I'm going to get a refill. Go through the list and put a check mark next to the top 40 biggest thinkers. Best guess, top 40 biggest thinkers. People that like a big life, not small life. People that go big, not small. And I must have had a look on my face because he looked right at me. You know what he said? He goes, you're not going to build your solution with sick people. That made so much sense to me. I got to find some leaders. Let's get this thing duplicated and we'll make money. And out of the cash flow, now I got a bunch of customers I pay for because I can, right? Family that helped me back in the day, right? I helped them back. Very cool. Anyway, so I had that list. He said, okay, and then I did the top 40 biggest thinkers. He goes, you got to call somebody first, call them first. And here's what you do. You respect the conversation, you know, the relationship, whatever it is or is not. So I know we saw each other last week, or I know we haven't talked for 10 years. Hey, there's a very specific reason why I'm calling. I want to catch up, but there's a reason. Got a question. Qualify. Right now. That's all you got to do is add the words right now, and you can say anything. Let me ask you, Dondi, Marcy, right now, are you guys keeping your options open for additional income streams? The reason I'm asking, I'm on to something. Now, I have no idea if this would be for you. You might love it, or it might not be for you at all. And either way is okay. But I thought of you. And if you're open, we've got this very comfortable dare I say, safe, emotionally way of getting some really good information, would you be open to 20 minutes of taking a look at a little video clip? I think you'll know within 10 minutes if you're going to love this thing. And if you like what you see, I want to introduce you to a couple of partners on this project, because we're talking about global, we're talking about public, we're talking about revenue flow down to our family. If I'm reading this right, but you tell me what you think. Would you be open to something like that? Now, if you like what you see, I want to introduce you to the other people, right? You got to meet these people. They're amazing. This is the people I've wanted to be around all my life. I mean, it's a very cool situation, but you tell me, right? Take it away, right? So that's what we did for those 40 people, basically. But I was all nervous and then going through my pause, and I was all crazy. You just got to look at this thing. Well, so I did that with 40 people in 30 days. I know that put me in a different category than virtually everybody else, because most people won't do that. And that wasn't that big a deal, but it's still work. To make 40 contacts and put them in the pipeline and see them through. Well, out of the 40, 19 of them liked what they saw enough to do the 3-way call. Hey, let me introduce you to my buddy. Now my brain is so whacked out. When you look at pause, you'll understand why. It comes in waves. I couldn't remember. I know shoes go on before socks. No, the other way around. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, your brain shuts off sometimes. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get some income, to get some sandwich money, and then figure out keeping the girls into school next month, right? So I mean, one step at a time. I know my first goal is 1, whatever their pro thing is. 1 is my first, and then when I get there, I know my next one is 2. That's all I did, right? So 19 of them 3-way calls. Now I'm listening. I can't remember the name of the guy that's helping me, let alone the guy that's the guest. So I'm pretty soon I'm going, hey, you guys are both professionals. Let me just get out of the way. I'm going to go on mute. Say hello, guys. And then I drink some water to get my pause under control while but I heard it over and over and over and over again. About 10, 12 times into this thing, I think, Domingo, man, I think I could tell the story better than you were telling it. I think I got it, right? By this time, of those 19, 12 of them enrolled with a package of some sort. And then I got the lesson. Because the company sent the money. We made $3,000, $4,000 our first month in the company, the first 6 weeks, because it takes a little while for the first one to roll and all that. But that got my attention. And I saw the first residual check showed up that first month, $127. And then the next one was like $300. I said, that's more than double. Hey, I know what 100% monthly does. You don't need to start with much, right? So my math is tuned into watching this stuff. But anyway, so we did those 12 people enrolled, and I did with them the only thing I knew what to do. The same thing that was done to me, because that's all I knew. 100% of my training was done when I enrolled. That's a key to duplication, which is our business model. The minute you hit enroll, training's over. The next thing that should happen is, do you recognize that we just went through that step and that step and that step, and you said yes in all those, and that's why you ended up here? And now what we do with your folks is those 3 steps. Make sense? Let's do that. You're already trained. Congratulations, you got a PhD. You got millions if you want. Don't add anything. Keep it simple. LifeVantage is going to kick butt in this department in 60 days, whatever. Okay? Now, I digress. Of those 12 people that I said, put a list together of everybody you've ever known on planet Earth, and I'll know how serious you are by the size of your list in 72 hours. Okay? 8 of them did not have a list. 8 of them had an excuse. 4 of them had some kind of a list. I went to work with those people doing the exact same thing. Here's my point. 100% of all the money I've earned in LifeVantage in the last 10 years have come from those 4 people. It's not good or bad, it just is. I haven't sponsored anybody else except positioning family for what's about to happen. And here's my, if I can get away with this, I don't know if I can or not. Whiteboard, that doesn't come through. Hang on just a sec while hopefully our time is not doing too bad, but I might not be able to share screen. Where did that go? I'm not sure why it's not doing. I got to get out of this full screen. Give me just a minute. This might be worth it. Hang on. Exit full screen. There I go. Okay. Give me just a minute. I think I'm going to do it. And that was the business. Okay, let me get out of there. And let me get back there. And let me do that share screen. And it's there. Okay. We're just going to look at this very quickly. Please understand the intentions here, guys. At that risk, just understand. Okay. Anybody, you're able to see that a little bit? Okay. Okay. Everybody, okay. Let me get out of there. Stop share. Okay. Now, the only reason to tell you that is that I made that in the first 6 weeks I was in LifeVantage. Yeah, first 8 weeks, first 90 days. In other words, those 4 people out of those 12 created 100% of that income. Now, I like to think that I had something to do with it and guiding it and keeping it going when it hit rough spots or whatever and all that stuff, but I don't know is the truth, right? But I do know this, 100% of that cash flow came from 4 people 10 years ago. That is the truth. And then I worked in depth, 60, 70 generations of depth. With this comp plan, you can do that and it'll take care of you, right? So here's my point of all of that. I modeled the guy. Anybody could model that, and that's all I did was work those steps. And that's all I ever do. Now I'm just gonna add a bunch of zeros. Now here's my point. Right now, you know who I'm modeling in life is Elon Musk, because he's doing things that aren't people, he is changing the world. Well, what's he do? What's he doing? The first thing he does is he assumes he's wrong. This guy's a rocket scientist already, literally. You ask him about his thinking process, he's doing it different from anybody else, and the results are evident, right? In a lot of different areas. And what you don't see is his 12 tentacles that are going out, all those different businesses. What you don't see is the way they all reconnect at the bottom. And they all have about 10 branches going out. This guy will be the first trillionaire by far, and then he'll give it all away. Your energy will be free. And he'll be in Mars doing it. Here's my point. He assumes he's wrong, and then he breaks it down to the core thing, right? And then builds it up like it's being built for the first time, assuming that anything looks like it is wrong, right? And he's right every time. NASA comes to him. Okay, we got the rockets, you got the brains. Okay, what's the rocket program? It's $100 million a rocket. He says, what's in it? He said, they're empty. No, what's it made of? He says, I need the list of materials. He goes back and figures it out. It's $2 million is the raw material cost. He says, no, thank you, I'll build it myself. And he forms a company called SpaceX. And then he trains the rockets to land, come back. Hello? Now he's training the machines to make the machines that are making the Tesla is not cars. It's the movement of the human race on the planet Earth. Wait till you see it when he's done. By the way, if you own a Tesla today, it's worth $300K a year, probably a year and a half from now. You probably want 3 or 4 of them for $1 million a year cash flow, because nobody will be able to buy them because they'll be converted to fleet. But if you have it, you can fleet it because you won't be able to buy it. Very short period of time. It's amazing what he's doing. Anyway, I digress, but he's thinking different from everybody. So as it relates to network marketing specifically, you need a little 202, a little 303 training. You got to work very hard at keeping it simple. It's a duplication business model. Everybody misses that. They think it's a sales model, and those things don't compute. Think about it. So what we have here is network marketing of yesteryear was like Amway, something like that. I don't mean to say anything bad about anything or anybody. They pioneer and they're doing $1 billion a month. They're doing something right? But here's the thing. They have products you can get anywhere on the planet that requires no education. That's where, Walmart on the retail side. It's the backside of the bell curve. You need no education to get your toilet paper. I want the unscented and I want the double fluffy. Yes, you're right. Am I right or right? Okay, right. And I don't need I know I can't get an education in Walmart. Have you ever tried to get an education on a product in a Walmart? Okay, that ain't gonna happen. Right? They're on the backside of the bell curve. Where's LifeVantage? They're on the front side of a bell curve where all the value in the contact and the education is. with products that have never been seen before because they never existed before on planet Earth. Huge value. That's why half of the company comes to us. That's why we're changing lives with families, right? Amway's got a $500 a month opportunity, a $1,000 a month opportunity. They've got a little wholesale retail differential. They got a few customers that you can get, right? And if I had 30 customers and I was supplying the older gals that didn't like going on the computer, what have you, you know, and I'm making my $500 a month, my $1,000 a month. You see, at LifeVantage, what they did is they took the profitability, the retail, you get a little bonus that pays for your phone bill or helps you on the gas bill, you know, whatever. But they wanted to take that away, to take the sales away. Mom, you can get this product for the exact same price I do as a fully qualified distributor. I love that about this company. They work so hard to keep the price down, to not price anybody out of the advantage of this product all around the world. You can imagine that, you know, $125 means something different in Thailand, right, than it does in Phoenix. Yes? It's important, right? And we got this whole global organization of people working efficiencies through word of mouth to keep the price down, not to play some money game. Again, this wasn't designed for any kind of a business, let alone direct marketing or network distribution. They figured out this was the way they could keep the price down and bring it out. I love that. It changes everything. But here's the thing. In LifeVantage's compensation plan, the only way to make $1,000 is to trip and stumble into some mediocre duplication, and then when it starts to catch a little bit of life somewhere, kill it. And then when fear comes into the society, for whatever reason, we can talk about that one as long as you want, but when there's fear there, then people shrink. 80% of the people shrink, or 96%, or 99.3, whatever it is, right? They shrink, right? So what's everybody going to do? Let me help you make $300, and then you can make, you'll believe, $500, right? Well, and what's happening with compliance, the CEOs of these kind of companies, they have to play around, they can't be talking about unlimited stuff. Compliance. I love the way you guys did that compliance. I'm immediately adding that to what my communications. That's brilliant. Thank you for that. Learned something everywhere. So here's the thing. We have an unlimited opportunity, and you need to bring an unlimited mindset into that. You need to understand that. You are stepping into something that goes to infinity. Now, you have a relationship with money that is probably very skewed, emotionally speaking. It is for most. Right? It is for most. I know I have a strange relationship with it, right? But I'm learning. I'm learning to love all the things and the good works I can do. I'm learning, right? So there's the people that operated, here's the conclusion that I'm getting to, and I think and then I'll drive home, and then I'll promote the next event, because that's the most important thing that we do. There's only one sale that has to happen, new person, or old person, or myself. I'm listening to myself here. There's one sale that must happen. You must sell yourself. And I, for one, won't do it. I won't do it. I'll tell you why I'm sold. I'll give you all the information, but you got to sell you. Because if you're sold out like us, join the family. We're having a blast. You should see the family reunion, okay? Right? What do? We collect friends and we collect money, and you should see the collections. Oh my gosh. When this group gets together and you put $1 billion of commissions in pajamas from home on the computer in the same room, or what will be on October 23rd, 5 different 2-hour segments, putting your very best foot forward to the world in multiple languages, all culturally correct. Oh, by the way, as soon as you get halfway through this little pay plan thing that gives away half of the company, every product, every year, every month, every week, every day now, they did daily pay. Yeah, weekly wasn't fast enough. Let's pay people daily. That makes sense. I'll take that. I love that. You know, it's like having a credit card that has no limit that you never have to pay off. Think about it. They just keep loading it up. Does that work for you guys that way? They just keep loading that sucker up. And for the new folks, when you go to pull it out of the ATMs, do not take more than 500 at a time, because what happens? I've asked for 1,000, jamming up the machine. The wind is blowing. I got 20s flying all over the place, and I'm chasing 20s. These people are laughing their butts off. You know, just 500 at a time. You know, I'm telling you. Anyway, I digress. Let me bring this home. Let me try to bring this home. This is an unlimited opportunity. Okay, I just purchased the list of all of the realtors in North America. 2.38 million, of which I have the cell phone numbers of 1.95 million. I'm coming to a neighborhood near you. Promise you. I promise you. You should see the technology that's doing. I'm pressing buttons and people are showing up filtered through my system going, yeah, I'm looking for an opportunity. What do you got? Let me show you step one. By the way, you're going to see 3 steps. And if you enroll at the end of it, that's the training steps. So recognize that along the way, because your training's over. You graduate with a PhD and $1 million with the 3rd step. If you want it, up to you. You tell me, because there's one sale that has to happen and I won't do it. Right? Just don't sell. Everybody wants what we have. I get the first natural, it's a salad. What do you, when you put a bunch of natural stuff together and eat it, what do you call it? It's a salad. All right. Unlimited comp plan, you better get unlimited in your mindset, and that better be what you're delivering. That's your product that you're bringing to people, is step into the unlimited world, and then don't let any of the limited thinkers poison your unlimited world. Bring them along. In my world, I'm thinking, double A ball. Are you thinking limited? Are you thinking, because if you really are looking for $1,000 opportunity, you should probably go to you should probably go to something in the direct sales world, because this ain't it. This you have to duplicate, which means you got to bring the unlimited that happens to match the parallel of the universe. It's actually the truth. I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard to find the truth right now. Yes or yes. Anybody else feeling that? Who? Anybody? Everybody's feeling that. Yes or yes. And people don't know how to deal with it. We're having very high level conversations. Very high level conversations about being able to take people to the right opportunity, to the right place, to the right process, for the right reasons. I like to have this much information. You know why I like to have this much information? Dondi, I'm, the science in me, we like this much information, but in a duplication business model, you know why I like this much information? So that when I'm talking to the person that needs this much, I can give them that much and know that I'm doing right for them. Right? That's why I want to know. That's why I asked Dr. McCord, who should not take this? And he said, yeah, there is somebody that should not take it. I said, well, what is that? The people that had the liver transplant or whatever. Other than that, everybody should be on it yesterday. Made sense. Okay. Here we go. May 18th, 2009. I wrap with this. I'm sorry I've gone late. Oh man, you should see the next meeting. Whew. May 18th, 2009, Mount St. Helens Day from 1980. But 2000, that's when they launched LifeVantage in a business model that was using word of mouth in a way that it had never been done before, keeping the price of the product as low as possible to aid as many people on the planet as possible. I don't know how you do better goodwill than that. You know how I know that's true? Because the product was actually licensed to Max International, right? And they found out what that company was going to do to the price point after 2 years of a negotiation and said, I have no idea what we're doing, but we're not going to do that. And they found some folks that might want to be interested in sharing good news, right? And put it together. Here we are 10 years later. We've only had our product 10 months, 8 months. The Tri-Synergizer is our product. We only had a piece. We only had about 1/6, 1/8 of what we currently have in that Tri-Synergizer, that pile of patents, right? Oh my gosh, guys. Our number one product 5 years from now will not be discovered, created, patented, packaged, ready to go until 4.5 years from now, but it's coming. There's going to be no shortage of breakthroughs. And there's going to be one organization that has positioned itself around the globe, publicly traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange with wide open financials, with a track record proven of taking products the world has never seen before and educated the world and brought it to the world in a professional, non-sales, education-oriented professional way. And all Darren has to do is cut the next deal. And he's got so much coming at him, he's going to pick and choose. And we can tailor make this thing any way we want. And the non-disclosure things that are signed off and where they are in the pipeline, and then some of the things that when you heard it, you would go, oh my gosh, 200 points. Are you kidding? 1,000 points. I can get 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. And I'm saying, guys, give us the third position, the fourth position, the fifth position, give us a 6 and 7, give it to us all now. We're going to need it. We're going to need to put all these people. I'm not kidding, guys. The past does not equal the future. That has never been more true in the history of history than it is this very moment. I believe that's a true statement with a capital T. We're able to take about the next 5 or 10 years of where LifeVantage was going to try to, Darren's and the gang were trying to get us to, and they're going to compress that into as many months. And a big piece of it happens October 23rd. Now, there was a group of people that knew that they were going to launch this thing about 60 days in front of May 18th, 2009. And there were some people there that they had no studies, patents, they didn't have any, they didn't have a comp plan. I mean, they had virtually nothing, virtually. I saw a picture, there was a folding chair and a card table and a phone, right? And a software. They were trying to get the computer to work. You know how that goes, right? Literally. But some of them made a decision. I'm going to sell out to myself and just trust and go all in. And there were other people that said, well, I'll try a little bit until it got a little hot and then I'll step away. And some people just never got started and everything in between, right? But those people that said, I'm all in, I'm going all in, this is a good story, nobody gets hurt, tremendous upside, no risk, except some energy, let's go, right? And they went. Do you know that every one of those people now have 10 figures of cash flow? If you add it up, that gives you some options, right? Now, 8 figures, I beg your pardon, not 10, 7, 8 figures, 8 figures, 7 figures, $1 million, add a zero. That's what I'm talking about. They're ahead of us, but there's a whole group of people coming in right behind them. And people are going to start adding zeros all over the place because LifeVantage is going to add zeros all over the place. Now, right now, everyone has a 60-day run roughly to October 23rd, whatever that exact time is. What you do in the next 60 days from a time compression standpoint literally could be millions of dollars to your family. We've already received 5 from the company with 1 position. We have about 20 in our family. Why wouldn't you? Okay. Are you serious or are you playing around? There's a group of people that are going to set their families free. There's going to be the other group of people that watch it happen. Try not to mingle that, qualify that. I think that's going to be really important going forward if I'm reading it right. Most people can't handle the truth, and the truth is weird right now, okay? So they don't want to they want to get into something and just go. If this is right, get in and go. Okay, get in and go, get in and go, get in and go. And I think whoever has the most people, and do you see how LifeVantage immediately adapted to where you can get on there for free? Now I can get thousands of people. I got to get them in through the system enough to sign in and pay their little thing and get, it's almost no commitment. The first person to sponsor, I caught myself. I'm wrong, and I'm going to work hard to be less wrong. Elon Musk, okay? I got my ego kind of out. I was on with a group, and I said, you know what? I'm seeing all this stuff coming together. All my pieces, the CRM, I can do the texting. This is brilliant. I'm going to personally sponsor 1,000 people. And I'm thinking, Eric Worre, you put it out there, you say yes, you figure it out, whatever that's, what I'm talking about, right? So I'm doing that. And then I catch myself 3 hours later going, David, you idiot. Now what's going to happen is the technology is going to show up tonight when you're looking, because you're looking. that would easily have you personally sponsoring 10,000 people, and you're going to miss it because you got all egoed up about 1,000. The past does not equal the future. The only way to get money into my household, I've learned, is to find a way to add value in other people's lives. And if you can be a part of that profitability, now we have a computer that doesn't care where the money goes or how much it is. I love being paid by a computer. Doesn't care about anything, right? If you just do 4 things, the $50 check off, you got the 200-point check off, about $250. You share it with 1, you're qualified to about $100. They're doing the same thing. You share it with 2, they're qualified to about $1,000, doing the exact same thing. You share it with 3 or more, you're qualified to over $1 million a year of income, and I can introduce you to people that are already receiving that. Oh, would you like to get started with us? Oh, and the product thing, they're going to send it to you. There's going to be a kit. When it shows up, read it. You'll probably take it, but I don't care because the computer doesn't care. Does it? Because we don't have any customer requirements. Why? Because we have so many customers. Do you know what everybody else in network marketing is doing? They're saying, buy my program, buy into the program so I can get a commission. And you actually just want to be a customer, but you're going to show up as a distributor, right? So that you can get the product at wholesale. And we really don't have any customers to really. And now the compliance people have to say, okay, you have to have 5 customers before you pay your people. You got to have, they're all playing this game. We got a real thing over here. And so we don't even need to have a customer requirement. Why? We got so many customers because it's real. A real product going to a real customer at a real price with a real value. Business 101. Being magnified and duplicated all over the world with future billions of dollars to products to be flowing for decades, centuries, and Darren's the guy to do it. We're watching him do it. What are you going to do? How many people do you have? James raising his hand. I see you, James. How many people are you going to have that event? Don't invite to that event. You build to that event. You get people locked and loaded and signed up right now. 3 steps. When they enroll, they're trained. Have them do it with their 10 people. Here's mathematics. Do you know if minimum requirement in the LifeVantage comp plan is to multiply by 3? If you multiply by 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? You add it all up, it's about 3,000, give or take, round numbers. Now, what's the difference between the number 3 and the number 10? What's the differential? Anybody? 7, okay? If you can do something 3 times, do you think you can do it 4? Think you do it 8? Think you do it 20? Could you do it 10? Let's just take the number 10, that's a nice round number. Take 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. That's 100,000, not 3,000. Do you know what the difference between 3,000 and 100,000 is? It's unlimited, guys. You're the first person to sponsor 100, the first person to sponsor 1,000, the first person to sponsor 10,000. It's going to start happening now. I'm coming to a neighborhood near you, and I don't know what I'm doing. I promise you. Hey, do you keep your options open right now for a new income stream into your family? We're finding all these industries that are on the backside of the bell curve, and we got something on the front end that's coming at us. All you got to do is get in position. You want to come with us? It's like a family. Come and look. Love that. Guys, you better bring an unlimited mindset because life is unlimited. That's where we need to step into. Start catching each other. There are no limits. There are none. It's an illusion. And by the way, the past, the present, and the future are tools. Put them to work. Only bring the past forward to the future. The things in the past that are going to benefit the future. You can be very selective. They're your tools. That's what separates us from the other life on the planet, which would be doing very well without us. There's a clue there. Just saying. Back to you guys. Thank you for the time. I love you.
You're amazing.
Wow.
We can just let you go and go and go and go.
Thank you so much for that just deep dive into
Sorry, it was so long.
the limitless mindset. I think that was, in summary, just come at this unlimited experience and this unlimited opportunity with an unlimited mindset. That's a great strategy. Thank you so much for that. It's obvious that you are a numbers guy. You're obviously very adept at what you do, and you have an incredible way of displaying that and sharing that. So thank you so much, Dave, for showing up, for for receiving our invitation and being here to train our team. We truly appreciate you and love and respect you limitlessly, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and your promotion to the next event was golden.
Seriously.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, remember, it's all in the invitation. You have to invite. It's the first step. So invite to the next events. Tomorrow night we have the Taking Control with LifeVantage, and that is at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Our LVO is at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And guys, we love you. Thank you so much for all being here tonight. Have a great one.
Yes, and thank you, Dave, from Costa Rica. God bless you guys.
Dave.
Pura vida. Bye, guys.